spanned 50 years and a collection of work made up of more than 1,000 songs, Duke Ellington is a music legend. And as Scott Evans shows us, his legacy lives on in the hearts of students thanks to one prestigious competition.
Every May, more than 300 students gather in New York City for 3 days to compete in the Super Bowl of high school jazz band competition. And the prize, the title of Best High School Jazz Band in the country. But it's also their shot at the performance of a lifetime here on the prestigious Jazz at Lincoln Center stage. It's the 20th anniversary this year of the Essentially Ellington Jazz Music Festival. Thousands entered, but just 15 bands made it to the festival.
All the hard work I spent in my room practicing, it had come true and it had paid off.
Paid off in a big way.
This was honestly beyond my wildest expectations.
The quality of the caliber of musicians here was it was ridiculous.
This competition wraps up the Essentially Ellington High School Jazz Band program, which is named after Duke Ellington himself, arguably one of the most influential American musicians of all time and who brought jazz music to a new level. Wynton Marsalis is a world-famous jazz musician and one of the judges for the competition.
Ready, go, it doesn't lay in that rhythm. Duke would come in and see all these kids playing his music. He'd break down in tears, man. He would love it.
Marsalis knows very well what kinds of challenges these young students of music face.
Just a faster camera?
It's not, no, it's the feeling of it. I'm trying to tell you how to come up, but just realize if you say ready, go, you're out the rhythm that you're going to play in. Well, jazz is the conversation you have with yourself when you're really being honest with yourself.
It's a very intellectual music, but you also feel it in your heart. It's a very passionate music, and it expresses so much of America's history.
Did anyone ever give you grief for being a girl in jazz?
No, as long as you can play.
It's not just the music that gives these students a reason to work hard. There's a connection to each other that's as clear as any note they play.
We're all there to pat each other on the back when we need it, and we're all there to push each other and say, hey, work on your stuff when we need that too. The band is really like my second family.
Farrah Memory is the director for the American Music Program from Portland, Oregon.
Give these bands an incredible round of applause.
And he's been pushing his students to be the best.
You're going to win, not to compete.
His band played one of Ellington's most challenging pieces he ever wrote, entitled The Tattooed Bride.
Now, I walked around with the score to The Tattooed Bride in my bag for 10 years, so I know that piece very well. It's very, very difficult to play.
Not only did his students play the crazy complex piece on stage, they did it with no sheet music.
And I don't know if any professional band has ever done that. Duke Ellington's band didn't play that piece from memory. That's a complicated piece. It's very difficult for kids to play with that type of maturity.
So when it was time to announce the winners of Essentially Ellington 2015, everyone was rooting for
American Music Program.
It felt amazing. This has been the goal of just what we do, so it's amazing to get here and finally accomplish it.
And when asked who would continue to pursue jazz music beyond this competition, the answer was unanimous. Scott Evans, Channel 1 News.